let's do really quick a mini review of BlazBlue Final Tag Ultimate Battle Climax. Initial mechanics were super daunting. You go through the tutorial and it's like, oh my god, there is way too much shit in this game. And it's just like BlazBlue and Guilty Gear problems. But the more you play it, the more things just start coming naturally. And it's got some interesting stuff. Every character has like a universal dragon punch for like 90% of the roster. Every character has a grab attack that can only be used on the ground and not in the air, which is super weird. But the biggest deterring factor of this game is its roster. And while some people, especially anime and ArcSys fans that are not Guilty Gear, are gonna love the shit out of it, it is a kind of hella polarizing anime waifu roster. And if you're into that, it's gonna be amazing, and if you're not, it's gonna be kind of hard to find a character you like. Luckily, I found a character that is a cool dude and looks like Gambit, and that sold me enough to put a waifu on the team to complement him, which is completely out of character for me personally. And just by that process allowed me to kind of play the game more and start discovering things with that character, much less discovering things with other characters that I normally never would have. And through that process, I started realizing, man, there's stuff in this game that's a lot like Marvel Infinite. And the tag system, I appreciate because I'm personally a fan of 2v2 tag systems more than 3v3, because when you get to 3v3 and even Dragon Ball as well, sometimes characters can get lumped down into a certain category, like a comeback character, or, you know, a Sparking Blast, an X-Factor character, or an assist character. And that's kind of what they're good for. And they don't really as much feel like they're fighting as a team as much they fulfill that one role, and that's what they do. And the nice thing about this game and other 2v2 games at the time like MVCI, which this game has taken some mechanics from, you feel like you actually fight as a team. And that's fun. That's actually really fun to jump in and do stuff and then set up for the next character and throw out the assist and then approach with your own. The tag system isn't nearly as free as MVCI, but it has other things in it that Marvel Infinite doesn't do as well. I'm only using it as a comparison because of the current 2v2 aspect of it. But the things it does is really engaging, and sets up for situations that I don't remember ever playing when I briefly played Persona 4, Arena, or Unial, or original BlazBlue. All those games I kind of had like, something feels weird. I think Unial was the one that actually felt pretty good, and believe it or not, like I mostly played Under Night and Birth characters. So, that kind of stuck with me, like Gordeau, and then I eventually just played Ruby because she had a Scythe as well, and I wanted to play Team Scythe. But through that process and jumping online, the online is actually rather functional. And for the most part, I'd say the majority of our matches ran pretty good, even the 1 bars and 2 bars. This is an Arc System Works game, so the bars always lie, and you usually are going to get good connections if people are close to you. The online is working pretty good. The best part about the online, the best part, is that you spend so little time in between matches, and most of your time just fighting, because the game doesn't have to load anything. There's a bunch of like characters from 2007 and 8 or something. That's one blemish I would say the game has. Graphically, it's nothing amazing. It does carry its art style very well, so it looks like a pretty game. But a lot of the roster is from old games, like an era that is from 720p. And if you put them next to like the Ruby characters, which are brand new sprites, it's like, whoa, holy crap, these new ones look way better. Like, they're obviously designed for 1080p to 4K, and that's kind of like, ugh, whoa. So that's kind of and it isn't like a game breaker. Once the characters start moving, you're completely fine. It's just one little hitch. I do hope that when the game does come out, unlike Guilty Gear Xrd for a while had this problem, it usually auto focuses one character around having the priority in an online match, so the music and the stage will always be for that one character you start with. Little frustrating. They eventually fixed that with Xrd Rev 2, so the ranked matches could actually have some variety, and you can pick random stage and random music, which is great. It's one of the big gripes I have with the online is the fact that you see the same stage and music all the time. Other than that, I can't really think of any other big gripes I have with the game. Like, mechanics, some of the mechanics are goofy. Like, the DP stuff is absolutely goofy. Characters barely recover any of their red health in the background, so you die friggin' fast in this game. And you would think that having a burst attached to your tag mechanic would mean that you're gonna be bursting all the time. You really don't. And there are clear, very concise counters for people tag bursting in and then flying in and whacking the shit out of you. You can do super, which has invincibility. You can do a down B, which usually has upper body invincibility. There are answers to that stuff. And upon playing people that are already pretty familiar with the game, they were counter supering me like crazy. So similar to a game like MVCI with a kind of a loose counter system as well, there are direct counters to a counter. You can bring in your other character. You can do a super to stop that shit. And if you get hit by a raw super in this game, my god, does it do crazy damage. I'd say of most of the anime games we've played, I probably, like the Chaos Codes and the old BlazBlues and Unial and Girl Fight, I'd say between all of them, this one I probably like the most. And inherently pretty daunting, but once you actually put it into practice, not that bad. And I don't even feel like I'm using all the mechanics that much, so I think the only thing this game needs is a better roster. I wish there was more characters. I don't know if Hakumen's exactly going to do it for me. I think the inclusion of Guilty Gear characters in the future would be awesome, but probably not a possibility. It's just, I don't have a second character for Gambit Gordeau right now that I really love, and I'm kinda waiting for that shit. But I won't lie, that Gambit skin on Gordeau, it's pretty good. It does wonders for me. So I actually recommend it. I think it's fun, and if you give it a chance, you'll probably like it a lot. If you can get past all the waifu-ness of it. There's a lot of waifu-ness.